Well, greetings, everyone. Here we are again in our quickly evolving worlds. And here we are to evolve our body, mind, spirit, souls, hearts by doing this practice together. And I'm John Dupuy, CEO of WeAwake, and these are some of the beloved team that I work with, meditating with us today. And today we're listening to Heaven and Earth. However, it's a really good track. I meditated with it this morning already, but it's only a half hour, and on the app, when you have the track, it's an hour. So this is just a half hour. We thought we'd do that for you guys, and it is in training to the brainwave theta, which is really good for heaven and earth, because theta is kind of that in between the deep subconscious and the more conscious, alpha in the higher states. And it's in dream and REI sleep, where you're in this other domain. Did I say REI sleep? I mean REM sleep. REI is where you buy backpacks in the United States. Sorry. Once a wilderness guide, always a wilderness guide, right? So REM, so that it's significant, and it's also the solfeggio resonance, which they say is the resonance of love. So so it's okay to love, and it's okay to there's many types of meditation, but you just don't have to be a blank slate. I mean, you can focus on your heart and let the love of spirit, let the love of God, let the love of the universe be there and come through you out into all beings. So maybe we'll speak about that later. So without further ado, this is a Heaven and Earth. It's 30 minutes theta and the solfeggio frequency, the frequency of love. Well, welcome back, everyone. Um, Heaven and earth, and we're learning more about heaven right now because they have this big James Webb satellite out there, 1,000,000 miles from Earth, out in space, taking pictures, looking farther back in time than we've ever been able to look. I know that's weird, but you can look further and further back in time to when we believe the universe was really early. And what are they finding? They're finding things that are absolutely shocking. And they're saying the Big Bang thing, that may not be what's up, you know. I mean, for modern people, that would be as difficult as saying that Genesis wasn't, for pre-modern and people saying Genesis wasn't the whole story. Christian, Jewish people, that's not a literal thing. And then we came up with the Big Bang, which is really cool. It's a great mystery and poof, but it doesn't look like that may not be true. And then what? And I think people are going to be as pissed off as they were about God didn't make the earth, heaven and earth in 6 days, with letting go of this thing, because everything, all the books, everything, and it's just kind of the land we walk on. So these earlier things that they're looking much deeper, much further than Hubble was able to do, and they're finding these early galaxies and things are much more developed than they should be. It should just be hydrogen, or and it's not what they're seeing. And maybe the whole idea of the expanding universe, everything, maybe that may not be either. So they're scrambling for some kind of scientific explanation, and maybe filaments entwined. I mean, it's really, pretty desperate stuff, trying to come up with an answer. But where does that leave us? That leaves us in the great mystery, right? Is why is there something rather than nothing? And the universe is just bigger and bigger with the Hubble was the guy that first looked off into this deepest, darkest patch on a land-based telescope way back in the early 20th century. And he saw these, thousands and hundreds of thousands of stars. And he's going, wow, that's really cool. And all of a sudden it was like, oh, they're not stars, they're galaxies. The whole perception of the universe, wow. But from the little thing that the Earth was the center of everything, the sun went around that, and the sky was the firmament, and the stars were just little holes in this dome, it's a light shining through, to, oh, look at them, thousands and millions of stars. They're not thousands and millions of stars, they're galaxies. Just mind-blowing. So we do live in interesting times. And I think it's good to hold a mystery and be humble before the fact that we are here. And the more you look, the more mysterious and amazing things get. And there are no problems on the planet right now that are not caused by us. Seriously? Well, come on, folks. Why don't we get it together? Duh. Let's stop trying to build empires and abuse everything and make everything about money, or being the next Peter the Great, or whatever the hell's going on in your mind. Stop it. And where are we going to learn the answers? Well, the great traditions have always said is that we have to look inside, and we have to wake up. And it's big, folks. It's really, really big. And but there is, I think there is a call to continue to work on ourselves and be the best that we can be, and to commit to practice. Okay, because if you're going to really go, I keep on beating this poor old horse a bunch, but if we're ever going to be something really magnificent, reach our potential, we have to do the practice. And I had a conversation with Roger Walsh and Lama Surya Das yesterday for the Deep Transformation podcast. It was, it's great. I think it was an hour and 45 minutes, and he was just Lama Surya Das is amazing Buddhist teacher. And one of the precepts of Buddhism, is like, check it out, try it, see if it ain't so. You be full of doubts. It's okay. It's okay to be full of doubts. And one of my favorite quotes is that there's more doubts in the mind of an honest man, a person, than in all the archangels in the mind of God. Your doubts are and not knowing is a sacred thing. I'm not talking about cynicism. We're talking about not knowing and being agnostic in the search for the gnostic, for the knowing. And the mystery's huge, the mystery's deep, the mystery's ever present. The fact that we're doing this right now is an absolute miracle. So so let's thank you for, let's see, this was I think this track was created by Nadja. Yeah, okay. So she's one of our terrific human beings as part of this whole thing. And and just commit to your interior practice every day. Get up in the morning. That's definitely the best time. Almost everybody says so. So they must know something. And commit to it. And there's thousands of ways, different types of meditation. And it's nice to have some instructions, I think, in the beginning, just like, you go to school and you learn the first basics, and you go to, middle school and high school, and university, post-university, whatever that is. But it's good to have those instructions. But at a certain point, once you establish the practice, it kind of takes over and establishes you and teaches you what you need to be doing. I know you've experienced that, Heidi. We've talked about it a lot. You've been meditating for a long time, and it just keeps unfolding. It never ends, and there's no end. The idea that enlightenment, right? That was just poof, you're enlightened. And I don't know if you're enlightened, you'd have that kind of expression. Maybe it'd be more of a smile. But anyway, but what we're seeing now, and what our best teachers are telling us, is that it never ends. The story never ends. It keeps unfolding, and there are different types of enlightenment, and they're all valid. The enlightenment of a Buddhist or Tibetan Buddhist would be different from the enlightenment of a Christian mystic or a Sufi or a Native American, but they're all valid expressions of the great mystery, and they're all very powerful, and they're all very personal, right? So so I think a good prayer is just, God, help me to know what I need to know, and create the hunger of my heart for you. And help me with this meditation thing, because I suck. I really need some help here. So, and that's okay. That's a noble prayer. I think that kind of prayer gets answers. And my teacher, friend, and mentor, Wallace Black Elk, quite well known Lakota Sioux medicine man, he used to say, pray really hard. So I mean, your heart can just reach out. And when we're sweat lodges, just pray hard, and realize that hunger in you, that part of you that's praying, is none other than God reaching out to God. And the clearer we become, the more that becomes clear. And another teacher told me one time, which gave me great hope. I forget his name. He's a gay man. God, he went to the great universities in England. Anyway, he's a great guy. Andrew Harvey, yes. I got to go many years ago. I got to go to a little workshop that he put on, and in somebody's living room. There may be 12 of us, and he said, 12 reasons why the world is really fucked up, and then why there's hope. And the one thing that he said, and this guy's a mystic. He's not just a scholar, though he's a scholar. Andrew, check out his stuff. He's an amazing guy. We should get him for the podcast for crying out loud. Wow, wouldn't that be beautiful? But he said, God has an agenda. What if we look way out there and we find out that everything we've been thinking and wrapping our heads around as far as the Big Bang ain't so, you know? Gulp. So we're just left with mystery after mystery, okay? But the universe, God has an agenda, and we're part of that. And what is the meaning of life? My friend and colleague Steve McIntosh says it's to participate in the perfection of the universe. You know, all the stuff we go through, you know, wars and famines and earthquakes and you know, the internet and the, you know, the negativity of it, the brainwashing and all the lies and the conspiracies and all the stuff to keep people just from doing the work, going inside and being there. All of that somehow is part of the formula to help us wake up and realize who and what we really are and always have been. And remember, time is just a thing, right? Time is a dimension, but our deepest self doesn't exist in time. Time emerges from our deepest self. It's a quality that's created or brought into being. So when we're there, time is part of it, and time isn't it, because what we are at the deepest levels came before that stuff. So anyway, all that is that heaven and earth, right? We've got to do the heaven and earth, the bringing our great, beautiful left brain minds together with our great poetic, spiritual right brains and male, female, yin, yang, heaven and earth. Bring these things together, and the philosopher's stone, right? That thing that helps us snap. And remember, that's not the end. It's just the beginning. Enlightenment's not the end. It's just the beginning. Check that out. Anyway, I think I've said enough. So anyway, God bless you guys. Thank you so much. And practice. Go inside. Do the work. Try it. See if it ain't so. Okay. Thank you.